Welcome to the Let It Bleed podcast, a place where you can hear the liquor-fueled ramblings of two narcissistic wizards who conjure the essence of inspirational people every week and bring it straight to you.
Just how do you plan on doing that? Magic. Motherfucker.
And now for the wizards themselves, David Amaya and Phil Arroyo.
Magic and manifestation.
It's in the air.
It's in the air, all over the place.
And I'm manifesting right now a fucking good episode. And you know what? I think we're going to get it. And not because we record these afterwards and I know whether or not they're going to be okay. Sometimes you just got to put the energy out there. And then in the past, it will actually find it and grab it. Like I've seen Inception and what's the other Matthew McConaughey movie where he fucking does that? Interstellar. Yeah, that one too.
Great
And I drink
movie.
a lot between the time that we record this and the time we actually finish the episode. So, yeah.
I didn't drink at all. Not one
That
bit.
is a goddamn lie.
Well, you know, we did have a very good episode where our guest Amara totally manifested this encounter.
The way you said that, I just wanted to follow you up, but like, fuck yeah,
Fuck yeah. Oh, America.
America.
Fuck yeah. No, Amara is fucking dope. She, I met her just recently at a party and we started talking about, manifestation and her travels and her adventures and how she got here from New York and just, how we came to meet each other through just meeting awesome people and having positive, good energy out there.
Yeah, no, she is a queen of manifestation. I don't know what to even call that, but the story she tells about using, just her own magic. Like I straight up was like, Bruja. Like you were a fucking Bruja.
Well, she's like
Get out of
Domino
my
from
house.
Deadpool too.
I know, no.
We were saying,
I'm like, the more I thought about it, I'm like, fuck, that is exactly what she did. Every story she told was just like a fucking, like, God, I was gonna say bus again, and I know I said that during the episode.
yeah.
I was trying to remember anything else that happened, and I have completely blanked.
Well, if you are somebody out there that, is intrigued by the idea of manifestation, believes in it, or has questions about it, this will be an intriguing episode for you. Just don't think that we're saying that you can just go sit down and say, well, I manifest this and expect it to happen tomorrow. That's not how it works, folks. There's true positive energy and intent that goes into this stuff for it to actually work. And I can say myself, with this podcast and just about everything else that has, happened in my life in the past few years, that manifestation is fucking real.
It's the whole point of the show, man.
Yeah, it's the whole point of the show. We're bringing people out there that, have these talents, these expressive qualities that we want to share with you because we hope that it inspires you guys to get your asses up and do something dope because you all have it in you to do it. That is what we want to do. Is there anything in the world right now, though, Phil, that we need to talk about?
Well, if you guys are into a little bit of inspiration for said dope adventures that you just mentioned, you guys can actually follow our guest today, Amara Brenner, at Amara Brenner. That is AMARABRENNER. And I'll try to remember to post it in the description of this episode. Pretty sure I will. Usually don't fuck that up, but every once in a while I do. So, hey.
Every once in a while, you don't remember to wake up on time for the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Every once in a while that happens too. And you knock on the door. I'm like, oh, what are you doing here? You're like, we have a podcast. I told you like 2 hours ago. And I'm like, oh, that's right. And then I have to scramble, put clothes on. And it's a whole thing. But hey, if you want to know what that looks like, just look at the picture for this episode.
So it's a great episode. What else have we got going on?
Okay, so let's play a little game because we are not 100% sure on this. But hey, if it is June 28th, then my God, you're in for a treat. Keep listening. If it's not June 28th and we decide to release this a week after, please just plug your ears for like 2 minutes, okay? All right, and we're going to skip to the future. It's going to be great. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Hey, June 20th, people. We are back, and my God, if you are listening to my voice right now, you guys need to make sure you make it out to Union, LA tonight, people, because you're listening to this when you ought to on the day of, and that's the shit right there. We've got the Big Bang coming up.
I think you meant to say go back in the past, but...
Yeah, you know what? I didn't really get Back to the Future, so
you went back to the past.
It's all confusing.
Blast from the past.
Yeah, no, I've been drinking a lot, and I think it gave me Parkinson's. So, yeah.
Well,
let's see. What's it?
the Big Bang.
Was that too rude?
No,
I have
just
gotten kind of.
it's quite alright.
My PC DAR is like way off, and so I'm making Michael J. Fox jokes. Anyways,
that is.
there's a show tonight, guys. You should really go out there because if you like people like Liquor Box or Milan or Untitled or any of the fabulous people that you've ever seen here on this show,
Or
like
if you don't know
Dream Life and
any of those
Firefly,
people,
we've got New Gen, we've
and
got
just
animals
like-
in the motherfucking room.
Yes.
They are all spinning for a dope night of house and bass tonight. That is the Big Bang.
The
And
Big
you-
Bang. Even if you
Check us out on
don't
social
know any of those people, which you should if you listen to the show, you're going to fucking dance your ass off. We have 2 Function 1 sound systems, 2 rooms, fucking ridiculous art that's going to be there, curated by the Psychedelic Lions Den. It's definitely the best thing you can do on a
Okay, I
Thursday
think it's
night.
been about 2 minutes to the people who are actually in the future right now. They're
Yeah.
coming back, so no, we should switch gears again.
Okay.
So we're back into it.
So we're back into
So
it.
that was fucking great, man. That was such a fucking crazy week last week. My God, I wish you guys would have been there. Anyways, yeah. So that about does it for us. We give you guys the Instagram plug for our guest today. Make sure you guys follow the podcast at Let It Bleed Cast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and then make sure you show us some love on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get it. Maybe somebody just like reenacts this show somewhere, like on the Venice Boulevard or something like that. I don't fucking know how this show gets out there, but I just appreciate that everybody listens. So, yeah, myself, Phil, Nobody Cares on Twitter, and at Nobody Cares Phil on Instagram.
And as always, you can find me at Hoodrat Stuff with 3 Fs, or follow the Psychedelic Lions Den for all the dopest art around. You can find it psychedelic_lions_den. And yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. We hope that you enjoy this episode. As always, let it bleed.
That's technically the master bedroom over there. Then we've got one more across the hall, and then one more down here on the right.
Oh wow, are these like your friends you live with? Or?
Yeah.
That's
They're
so
all
fun.
Yeah, it's my little island of misfit tours that I run.
I love
So
that.
yes, and Frankie, wherever the hell she is. Did she run outside? Oh, she's right there.
Is that another dog?
Just doing Frankie stuff.
Oh, a cat.
What's up, Frankie?
Hey, is this a friendly?
She's like, nope.
Is this a friendly cat?
With her stubby little
She's
legs.
just
Oh yeah,
like-
she's super.
She's super friendly but shy, and like,
Yeah, she's shy. Like
But
she
if you
doesn't
pet
like.
her
She's
when
not.
she's
She doesn't
peaked-
attack. She's never attacked anything. She's not.
oh yeah,
mean, but she
Okay.
will like. She'll be like, what the fuck? Who are you?
not really. I've never like
She'll,
been
like,
afraid of
fart
a
and be
cat
like, what the fuck
attacking.
was that? Huh?
I've never been afraid of a cat attacking unless it's like a fucking bobcat or something, which I've only seen once. I saw this video today of these 2 bobcats like up next to each other, and like I couldn't tell if they dubbed, like if it was a joke video, like if they dubbed little kids like going like "Rah," like doing noises and stuff, because that's what it sounded like. It sounded like little like kids like fighting on the playground over something stupid.
That sounds like
when
a
they're
great idea
really
for
little.
one of those dead videos. It's just like just a vicious puma fight, and then you just put in like 2 kids arguing, like, hey, stop it.
Hey fool, stop
Come on,
it.
man. I like you trying to put your hat on over there.
I know.
That was funny.
I know.
I don't think that hat is
Yeah.
a podcasting hat.
No, it's not. It is not.
This hat though.
Yeah, that
This is
works.
my special podcast
There you
hat.
go. There
That's
you
like
go.
the DJ starter package hat right there. Like you like when you get
It's got a
like
sick marijuana leaf, bro.
Does
It's
it?
a trucker hat. I think so. Is
Does
that
it
the one
re-
I grabbed?
I-
I just have this wall over here, and I just grabbed shit off it because you showed up, and I was like, oh fuck, and I just like was running around like I didn't have wait, did I have a shirt on? I don't fucking remember, man.
It's been a
It
rough
was a
day.
whirlwind. I thought I did pretty good.
Yeah.
All things considered, I put this together in like 8 minutes. It's like
Oh,
a
really?
record time for me.
She did, yeah. From you literally showed up as like right, or you texted me right after I knocked on the door here and realized that they weren't ready. So that's why I went down and was like, okay, they need a few minutes.
I'm just chilling, working, thinking like, all right, I think I'm gonna go like jump in the shower real quick. Then I'm gonna smoke. I got some like Netflix queue lined up and shit. Now it's like, oh, whoa, fuck.
So are you good right now? Do you have everything that you need? Like you need water or anything?
No,
like
yeah,
that?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're sick. All right.
Oh.
Wait, so like I've never like been on a podcast.
Well, you are right now.
I-
This is at this exact moment.
Surprise!
You are one. Surprise!
Really?
Yeah, we're
Doing it.
going. You're doing great so
See?
far.
Oh,
It's
okay.
easy, right?
You're already going.
All right.
It's as simple as that.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing is if you probably
Actually, yeah,
face
that's-
it a little bit more toward you so that you can. I know it's difficult for you because you can't hear, but that's why we
Okay.
can hear it. You're great now. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Now we got a real budget set up in here, so you just gotta kind of be close to it. But you nailing it. You nailing it. Oh, you got the podcast posture too.
Trying to get some good posture up in
So-
here. I just came from yoga.
We were just downstairs talking about how efficient she is. Like, how she could just knock out all of these birds with one stone.
Whoa.
I know.
So you're really good at killing birds.
Yes. Yeah.
I
Like,
really am actually.
You didn't.
she's like that. What is Will Smith's character in fucking that stupid movie Suicide Squad? I guess that's the
Yeah.
whole point. Never mind. Anyway,
Fuck
she's
that
really
movie.
good at, assassinating birds as well as fucking getting shit done. She went to the yoga. She came
I had
back.
a meeting. I had a meeting in Long Beach,
Uh-huh.
and then I met him at a coffee shop, and then I did some work, and then I went to Core Power Yoga right here, 8 minutes away.
Okay.
Got my nice juice, and then here I am, no traffic, traffic free. And when I'm on my way home, it's gonna be way after the hours,
Right on.
but yeah, it works out. I have no traffic in LA. It's great.
What?
Yeah.
That said nobody ever except
really
for you.
How is
don't.
that possible? Do you?
Where in LA do you live?
I live on the border of Venice Beach and Marina del Rey, and I just work
Oh, it's actually-
remotely.
it's not
So
too
I'm
bad.
always driving between the hours of 10 and 4.
Sure.
Or I don't leave my vicinity from 4 to 7.
so you just got the timeline.
Yeah,
right.
I just kind of figured it out.
Yeah.
Strategized it. I got no complaints for
Yeah.
LA.
Actually, I can kind of back that up. I used to commute from here to Marina del Rey.
Yeah.
And it was not that bad because I started at 10 and then I left at 7. And so okay.
Yeah.
It's an hour there usually and then an hour to an hour and a half back.
It always really depends on where you're going to. Like if you're coming back this way from there in rush hour traffic, it's not as bad, I think, as going back that way in rush hour traffic.
What do you mean?
Like going toward LA from South County during rush hour traffic. Like or for instance, like I'll get off my work is right next to the freeway on the 405 at Harbor, and heading this way anytime before 7:30 is like a fucking parking lot.
yeah,
But you
close.
could still see cars going pretty quickly in the opposite direction.
Okay.
So it's not as heavily packed going
I see what you
southbound.
mean.
Hey.
So anyway,
This is Brian.
Hey, how are you? What's your name?
Brienne.
Brienne. Nice to meet you. I'm Amara.
You too.
I'm Amara. His last name is how do you say it?
Amaya.
Amaya.
That's how we bonded at this party. She came to come together, which was an amazing party, which I'm so bummed because most of our friends on a certain side, none of our other friends made it to this party because they were all out of town or whatever. But
Yeah.
that's where I met her
Right
and her
on.
friend Amira.
Yeah, we were in line. We literally just walked in. I was like, I have to go to the bathroom so bad. Please come with me. Please come with me. So we're online and we're talking to him. And I'm like, I'm Amara. He's like, and she's like, I'm Amira. And he's like, you have to see what my last name is.
What the
And we're like, this is weird.
what the fuck?
That was weird because no one ever has my name. Us
Yeah.
there just standing there. The second we walk in, we all gravitate towards the bathroom. And then every time we ran into him, it was me and Amira coming out of the bathroom, right where we all met. It was like,
Yeah, the weak bladdered crew right
I'm
there.
not gonna lie. The notes for this original, the thing that I set up is episode 52. Mara? Question mark?
Yeah.
I think you just said it. I'm like, okay, I think I got that.
But you know what? We're really happy that you took the time out of your day because she's leaving tomorrow to New York and then going on another adventure from there to Portugal. So
Oh,
she
shit.
made
Yeah.
time for us today.
And so I hear that's what you do,
what do I do?
an adventurer.
I
the
like to
wandering
travel.
spirit.
I do like to travel, and my spirit has been wandering.
Right on. So, Hedda, what do you do remotely?
Okay, so I just started a new job that kind of fell into my lap because I manifested it.
Yeah.
But I'm working for this real estate company selling investment funds.
Okay.
So I basically call on financial advisors and broker dealers, and I build relationships, and I'm raising capital for buildings all over the world.
Right.
But my team is awesome. My company's based out of Manhattan, so I'm the only one here in LA. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's brand new. I'm learning everything from scratch. It's literally brand new.
So, how does that work though? Are you just a representative for them here? You're the only one,
Yeah.
or okay? And so that's fucking.
But I'm guessing does most of it take place, from your computer at home, right?
Yeah, or like in-person meetings. Like I met this financial advisor at a coffee shop in Huntington, in Long Beach today.
Okay.
But like we'll go to conferences. Like we had a conference at the Ritz in Newport Beach or in Dana Point for a couple weeks. Then we were in Paso Robles for another conference at this like winery, and it was like all just schmoozing people. It was pretty awesome.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
So when did you get started like working? Like when did that like switch happen? Like when did you like realize that was a thing you could do? And like,
Well, out of college, like my ex-boyfriend at the time was working remotely. He got transferred from Manhattan to LA. Manhattan, New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And I was graduating school in Indiana, and he's like, and I was visiting him back and forth between Indiana and LA, and I fell in love with LA. And then I was graduating, and I was like, I want to move here. I got to feel it out. So I took a job working remote for a travel agency, doing travel for Broadway shows. And I was working from home, and I was like, I'm never going into an office. I'm just never doing it. Yeah. And then I moved to Manhattan after a year of being back and forth between New York and LA. Because I just didn't want to move somewhere that early for a guy. Not the smartest move.
yeah,
Right, straight out of college,
Right.
So after a year, I moved to Manhattan. I lived there for 2 years. And I found my job, and I was selling flooring. I found this job on LinkedIn because the owner of my company, I applied for it on LinkedIn, and he called me and he was like, I saw your picture on Facebook. You look really personable and friendly. Like, you should come work for me. So they were based out of New Jersey. I was working remotely in Manhattan. And then me and my boyfriend broke up, and I was visiting LA, and I was like, oh my God, I have a life here from just visiting here all the time. Mm-hmm. So I just like picked up and moved to LA, and I moved in with my guy from college, his friend from Australia, and his friend from London in a 5-bedroom, 4,000 square foot house in Venice Beach.
Nice.
And like kind of just like created my own life from there. And then, yeah.
Did you, when you were younger though, like ever see that in your future, like just up and leaving New York? You know, did you ever imagine anywhere else besides New York as your home? Because I know that people that generally come from New York really fucking love New York. You know, it's like their town.
Yeah, I like kind of was in high school. I was like, I am not moving. I'm not going to move to. Well, first I wanted to go to college in Miami, and then when I was in college, I was like, I'm not moving to Manhattan after college.
Right.
I wanted to move to Miami. But then my best friend was like, I'm moving to Fort Lauderdale. And I was like, I'm not moving to Fort Lauderdale because she went to grad school. So I was like, oh. And then I took that whole path.
And so when would you say now that you realized that you had manifested this? Like when you first put that intention out there?
Oh, well, I manifested this. I realized that I manifested like my jobs because I ended up never having to go into an office. That wasn't when I was conscious of it though.
Right.
I took a trip to Tulum that kind of taught me about manifesting when I moved here, and it was kind of an accident. I thought it was just like a girls' trip to Tulum, like let's get drunk on the beach, and all these girls were practicing manifesting, and I'm like, oh shit.
It's God, it sounds like it's like the total kind of cliche, but the true, like it's true, like that's what happens. You know, that's what I've heard so many
how
stories.
Do you practice manifesting like in a group. I just imagine like a bunch of girls just sitting there like in a circle and just like. Just like thinking really hard or some shit.
Basically, kind of.
Yeah.
No, we talked about like how you do it, like ask, believe, receive, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can actually explain it any one way. A bunch of people obviously can, but I mean, I definitely believe in its existence because of looking back and seeing. You know, it's not necessarily my conscious self that's doing it. It's more my subconscious self that's constantly working at it while I'm like not paying attention at all. And it starts with the intent. Like I've realized years later, come full circle after, you know, I had created an intent at one point, right? And then us as humans, we you know, expect some sort of instant gratification. You know, we're like looking like we can only see what we're going through right now. And, you know, we're like, okay, well, what's happening? Why is it not happening? Okay, well, fuck that. I'm not, you know, you just keep moving. You keep doing things and you keep discovering new things. And then eventually you realize like later on down the road, holy shit, this has manifested in way better ways than I could have ever imagined. When I went, like, it's almost like you gotta, you know, it's kind of like what Jeff was talking about with the magic, sigil magic. You know, when you perform this ritual, the thing you charge it, you create the intent, you charge this you know, sigil, and you put it out there, and then you instantly forget about it. You just act like you never did that in the first place, and then, you know, it eventually will happen and work out. And he says every single time it's worked for him. And I could say so far, from my experiences after doing
I
that.
can also back that up.
It's fucking
my
happened,
ritual was successful and continues to be so.
What was it though? Was it like
Hey,
something?
man, I
it's
cannot
like-
tell you that
I know
and ruin
exactly.
the magic of it. But
Exactly.
actually, no, it was pretty fucking metal though. Actually, maybe I can't tell you because it was fun. I can tell you where I forged it. It was where I forged it was riding a plane through a lightning storm on my way home on 9/11. I was like, this is the moment. Like,
I
it's
was
here. And the
born.
plane landed at 9:11 p.m.
I finally found
And I was
out.
like, this is some weird, freaky, magical shit. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck the Wi-Fi. Like, we're doing this now. And the whole thing, I just like, kind of crafted that and brought it together. And it was a beautiful thing.
I get so much shit from so many people. Well, a lot of people do. Most people do about like, astrology and shit like that. But I finally figured out my fucking birth time, which was 9:11 p.m.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I couldn't figure that out for the longest time. My parents said that they didn't know what it was, and on the birth certificate, it was in military time. So like nobody really ever like looked at that. Or
So
That's funny.
well, to be
So
fair,
is
like
this
it's like almost like
indecipherable,
it's
cryptic
unnoticeable
thing you've
almost. It's
never
like this tiny little number that you can't even tell that it's in military time. It's just like almost like what that's like a glop
Is this the
of ink
time?
on
Is
there.
this weight?
Anyway,
What is this?
so 9/11, I go and look at my chart and I'm like, holy shit, this is like to a T, like every fucking single thing about me, like for better and for definitely worse, like every fucking thing. You're like, I can't like you. It's one of those things where you can't really say, because a lot of people say, well, you can kind of just attribute them to just about anybody if you read a certain way. It's like, no, like you can't take this and put it towards like you or my other friend or other people that I know.
The real fucking
The real Slim Shady.
like the real deep ones, that like do go off of like what time exactly and like the phase everything is. Like when you get so specific,
they get
like, to
super
the minute.
scientific with that shit. Well, not
And then-
scientific, but
But like what they spit
pseudoscientific.
back out is kind of like it's kind of a trip.
It's a fucking trip, man. It's a fucking trip for sure. And it's weird when you see it playing out because it's like if I were to have read that a few years, maybe 5-6 years ago, it probably wouldn't be the same. Like it was very like current with me. It was very like up to date, like with what's
Yeah.
going on with me right now. Like this is how you feel. This is how you were. Like holy shit. Like I probably would have read that when I was younger and been like, fucking stupid. Like that's nothing like me, And then here I am. But yeah.
Well, I mean, those things are like the magic that you put in it,
Right.
Even though I know, like, I'm aware of like other processes and psychological phenomena and pattern recognition things that could also like explain that. It's like, why would you try to explain this shit away?
It's like what Del says in the Grill song. What a thought. What does he say? Something about to teach you what a thought is. I brought all this so you could survive when law is lawless. Feeling sensations that you thought was dead. No squeal and remember that it's all in your head. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The great poet.
Talking about. Yeah, we can get into it for a long time with the gorillas. But anyways, so what's up with them hurricanes? No, you have an extra one.
They're
Yeah.
cooling down right now.
They're cooling down.
Yeah.
What?
They're in the fridge. I just put them in there like. Oh, actually, no, that was like 2 hours ago.
But anyways,
Okay.
so you manifested this.
So so then what really happened was what happened was I was working for this flooring company. Oh, because I left the Tulum trip and I was like, I don't really, thank you. I was like, I don't really know if I got anything out of that. I don't really know, like, if I believe in it, but whatever. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to try it, like, whatever. And I was like, I'm manifesting really big projects, like really big flooring projects, as I would call on architects and designers, and want to floor like hotels and buildings. So I'm like, big projects, like, please. I'm literally laying in my bed with my friend, and she's like, what are you saying? And I was like, I'm just manifesting some things.
Like just saying big projects.
Yeah, by just like thinking it and putting my energy towards it and my thoughts. The next morning, I woke up to a LinkedIn message from somebody that I met 2 years ago saying, hey, Amara, hope all is well. This guy lives in New York. He's like, he used to work at Cushman Wakefield, which is like a major real estate developer, and now he's at Tishman Speyer. And he's like, I just got assigned the task to do Tishman Speyer's headquarters and potentially Tishman Speyer's flooring nationwide. So would you be able to help us? And the exact situation that he proposed to me was everything that our company could do for them. And I was like, holy shit, I just created that situation with my thoughts.
Right. There's like no other way around it.
Yeah.
Like your
I straight
thoughts
up did
created
it.
that. Yes.
Like, and then that just kept me going.
Yes.
And I just kept, then I was like, I got this. I'm going to keep manifesting more shit. So fast forward to months and months and months later, my boyfriend was going to Dubai for this real estate conference. He's like, we got to go to Dubai. We're going to meet some epic people. I was like, my boss is not going to send me there. He's like, well, I got you. I was like, it doesn't matter. I can't take vacation. Like, I can't go. So I go into yoga the next day and I'm like, I need to manifest a job that will fly me all around the world to be productive and do what I want to do and make a lot of money. The next day, he's like, my boyfriend's like, I just got a really important business call about you. His friend Brian, his brother, needed to hire someone on the West Coast to do this job. And that's how this job fell into my lap. And I was like, kind of like, and I never want to go into an office. There's 150 people that work in this office in New York. I'm the only one that works remote. So
and he was like
awesome.
stoked to come to you and say, hey, like I got this job. You're going to have to move to the West Coast.
No, I was already living in the West Coast.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. This was like, I was jumping all around, but.
Then things are just fucking working out for you. It just really fell into place.
Yeah, like I'm just realizing, oh shit, your magic is strong as hell.
Shit's been
Oh my
popping.
god, that's crazy.
It's been crazy. I have so many stories.
So where did that, like, when you were manifesting stuff like that, is the whole, like, you don't want to go into an office, is that part of it? Because I feel that same thing too, and I feel like I've finally, like, gotten to a place in my life where I've actually willed a lot of that into existence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess so. I guess so. Like, I don't know. It just, God helped me out.
I wonder, I mean, just with every, like, you know, it is the dream to do something like this, and this is the only reason why I really kick myself about not being as like computer literate as I should be, you know, or, you know, all of the things that I just kind of like thought I didn't realize would be essential to be able to just like get up and do these sort of jobs. Like I could be definitely way more proactive in finding ways to make money by just using my computer and traveling, you know, if I would have known how to do these things. And I see people doing it on Instagram, and I'm just like so envious because they're like living this, you know, living the van life basically, but they're like working from their car. They just like have hotspots and they just, you know, like do what they got to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck.
No, I'm such a like an admirer of those, like, they call them like digital nomads.
That's what I want to
know,
wake up
the
to
people
see.
who, yeah, exactly.
I know, right?
People
That's
who go
what I
out
wanna
there,
see.
they find a spot like
Digital nomads.
yeah,
Like
a little like you know, little cafe in like Vietnam where they can like get some Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They can send all their stuff in for the day.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're good. You walk out your, you know, your quote unquote office, and it looks just like that.
That's what I'm
like,
saying,
one of those,
man.
those beautiful scenes.
Go
like,
see the
vistas
Grand
in the world.
Tetons like this, dude.
And you want to go to Bali like next week? Fuck it, why
Seriously.
not?
Yeah.
And nothing's stopping you from doing that, and you're making money too. Plus, you're making American money.
Yeah.
Bringing that around, like it's a great like concept and gig they got going over there.
Totally.
Yeah.
If I wasn't so damn lazy, I might give it a shot.
Well, I feel also in many ways because anybody can say anything. Like we've had people on that, you know, just like quit your job, go and do this and do that. And I think that is a beautiful sentiment. I think that there needs to be people out there that do push that message because there are people literally going through the monotony. They're just, you know, selling themselves to the machine like day in and day out, and they don't even have like a goal that they're working for necessarily.
Yeah.
You know, they're just kind of just doing it because they think that's what they're supposed
Right,
to do.
right.
Those are the people that need to hear that message. Like, quit your job, go and do this, you know, find out what else is out there. Me personally, I feel as much as like I would love to do that, and I could definitely see like if it came down to that, then I would fucking run with it and just do it. But I also feel that something is, you know, I'm putting in my work right now, putting my due diligence.
If you're in your 5th year of community college and you're a sandwich artist, like it's probably not the best advice.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Well, you know,
gotta work up to that.
And you know, it's not. I don't know, experiences, because I'm looking at all these fucking pictures of these things that are playing here, and I've been to like all of these places, and so like I think like you know what, I have to be appreciative of the fact that I've already seen more of, you know, what's out there than so many people do, and so that makes me feel really appreciative of it. But I fucking want to be out there doing it more often like I used to. So it's just in a sense, it's like my time in the cycle of like having to like learn those lessons the hard way, like realizing and understanding the value of like your time and, you know, having free time and everything like that. And so it pushes you to like finally get what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I really want.
And I think we can benefit a lot more from that because of, I mean, not just the technology that allows us to do so much more from anywhere. You know, we're not tied down to little stuff like that. But also just like the cultural shift and that like a lot of the societal norms that would like bogged down. Other generations like, nah, you do this, you get that job there, you work 40 years, you get married, you have a kid and stuff like that. We can just kind of be selfish for life, man. Like there's nothing telling us that we have to do it one way or another. Yeah. And so if you have until you're, basically your whole life to just do whatever you want, like that can ultimately become an option for a lot of people.
Well, that is certainly a slump that a lot of people do have to get over. And I mean, I could say that I'm not necessarily, I've always been very independent of like doing things from my separate from my family, because they're very much more like tightly oriented and they just kind of hang together, and I'm like the one always off doing whatever I want to do, but I'm not, it's not to say that like it doesn't eat away at me, like the pressures to like do certain things or to kind of still, make them happy.
Right.
Where I think in society we're seeing more and more like it's this like push and pull against like who's to blame for the way things are in today's society. It's like, oh, you get the baby boomers that are just like, oh, you millennials are always so whiny, complaining, you're overprivileged, you guys complain about a lot of things. And though if you compare the differences of what people had to go through, or at least how things were done, there's just so many of them, and you could say that you could definitely see that in certain ways. But
they're like, oh, you got your iPhone. It's like, yeah, you had an apartment that you could afford without living with 17 people.
Right.
You raised a family on, like, you paid for your own college on your minimum wage job.
Like you were pretty much, if you got a degree, you were kind of set. Cool. There was a job for you to have. Like now, it's like, great.
My TV's nicer. That'd be real fucking great if I could find a place to plug it in.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It is not the same thing.
It's not the same thing. And there's a lot. Also, I saw a funny meme the other day too. Where it was like saying about how we're pussies or something like that, millennials from the baby boomer generation, and then it was saying like, well, yeah, that's because the baby boomer generation failed to like tackle the real issues of what's going on with us, like personally. They just like try to toughen up, if you will, and just like act like these problems don't exist by calling people that have feelings pussies. And then here we see all of these people, even from their generation, who are committing suicide, who seem happy. Like it's really interesting to me, because I've been paying a lot of attention to this lately, and I've noticed that it's definitely like a bipolarity. It's a thing that's very common in most people, where it's like hopeful, optimistic, but super depressed at the same time. Yeah. Like there's like a lack of self-esteem for yourself. Mm-hmm. Like people don't have this self-esteem, but they want people to have it because they don't, and so they're constantly out there trying to push. Mm-hmm. I do sense that people are outwardly, at least the people I surround myself with, because that's another thing. You attract, what you put out. What you want to be, you're going to attract those people. And so we're lucky to be around so many people who are creative, who are, receiving good things because they have the right intent. And, these are people that also want to make other people realize how to get through it, but they're not. None of us are really good at taking our own advice.
Exactly.
We're all just like, oh, like why are we like why? I know that I don't want to go through that Del Taco or Taco Bell fucking drive-through right now, but like I'm gonna go and do it, and then feel like shit later, and then think about it forever. I mean, that's just like a loose example, but these things that we constantly do, and we see ourselves doing them, and it's like, what, like how, like. What can I even say about that? There's people are like, there's free will. You can stop that. You can do that. But this goes along with me saying, like, I don't know if I have as much free will. Like, I feel like part of me is being forced to learn this lesson, to understand what it's like to, like, be fucking a wreck and be miserable so that, like, I can get somewhere else. At least that's what I hope.
I think all of us are wildly swinging back and forth on that on a day-to-day basis.
The highs
I
and the
know
lows.
I have gotten. I would say if there's anything, not to minimize it. I don't know if I really have it, but like if there's anything close to depression that I think I've felt, I think it's been like definitely within this last like a year.
Yeah.
Because I look around, just things are so fucking dark, man, and it's hard to stay like always positive, always happy and stuff like that. And I've had some like bad days this week. Not like, I'm afraid for myself, but it's just like, it's just tough to deal with. And like I even have a tough time talking about it sometimes. But like, sometimes you just gotta like compartmentalize, switch, and then just have that like bipolar bursts of just joy and stuff like that.
But as we were talking about too, a lot of it does have to do with your the biology like of your body, like your fucking the gut controlling all of your shit. For me, in the morning, usually I feel like shit, generally, and then like once I get up and I drink my hot water with lemon and fucking honey and like kind of do my little cleanse and then go and get my caffeine in my system on my way to work, then it shifts and I'm like all of a sudden happy. Or the sun comes out and you're like, okay, I'm happy now.
Yeah.
It's this weird like range of emotions that you go through. Well, today I woke up for the first time in a while, like just feeling amazing. I was like, this is fun. I'm just like super happy. And then I got to work in the middle of the day. I was like in this weird funk.
Yeah.
For no reason. And I was just like super anxious. And I was just like, I don't know what to do right now. And then you beat yourself up because like, I have no reason to be anxious. Why am I anxious? Why?
Oh my God.
The fuck? And you look at people that like complain about things or like kind of, they're just seeking attention on Facebook. Or, they're just like, doing it for this and that. But then you're like, fuck, like I feel like that right now. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like you just beat yourself up going back and forth. And it's like, there's not just one of us anymore. There's like a billion of us in our own head talking to each other and arguing with each other. That's how I feel. Maybe
everything's going a million miles an hour, man. And like that's fuck, I just lost the point that I had that I was going to tag on to that. But when
that happens.
Yeah. Oh man.
Mine's going too fast everywhere.
Oh man, I guess I'll cede my time to the gentleman in the red hat over here. Because I totally fucking missed the thing that I was gonna say. But I'm go ahead.
Well, do you guys notice though the same thing that I was talking about with like most people kind of like just out there like peers or anybody like having issues with like stress and anxiety and it being like a very, very common thing. Like it seems to be just
well, I know for me
syndrome.
like the most stressful and like anxiety ridden period of my life started when Trump got elected, man. That really was. It fucked up my day, fucked up my year, and it has fucked up every single day since then. And especially this week. It's just been fucking brutal. Like I wake up and this morning, like, I go, I look, I'm like, okay. I anxiously open up Twitter and I go, okay, what the fuck happened now? And I'm like,
to get off the Twitter, man. It's killing you.
No, dude. We're all dying because not enough of us are on Twitter. Nobody understands. Do you know the Supreme Court made a decision today ruling in favor of those clinics that are made up to look like women's health clinics, but then they just go and they give women all this like fucked up wrong information and they just lie to them and try to talk them out of having abortions and stuff like that?
No.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens a lot. And it was just ruled legal. Also, like, what was the other one? There was like 3 decisions that came down today because the Supreme Court's about to end their session, and all of them were fucking horrifying, man. Absolutely horrifying. Yeah. And when that seat was stolen by Mitch McConnell, by delaying Obama's pick for 8 months before he was out of office, and then Trump surprised everybody and got elected, and they stole that seat, and now everything coming down is a 4-5 decision in favor of all this shit that is just eliminating the rule of law. Like, this country.
But do you think though we're
losing the pillars?
But my point is like that it just adds to the stress when you can't.
We're losing the pillars of democracy, and nobody gives a shit.
No,
man.
The thing is though that they can't necessarily do anything about it other than vote at the designated times to vote or get out and do certain things here and there. But like. What my point is, like, the awareness of it doesn't necessarily alleviate the stress, nor does it make anything effective other than there kind of just being more people aware that this guy's a piece of shit. And I don't think the consensus is in any way leaning towards, well, no, there is a big majority that are not going to pay attention to Twitter in that way. I think it's just kind of separating automatically no matter what.
But people are pretending that this is normal. And people are saying, well... yeah, my life's still okay, so... Well,
on a relative... it is all a relative, though.
They can convince themselves it's okay to stay home, like, this November. And it's really fucking not.
Well, I mean, that's yet to be seen as well, though, because I still think that there's plenty of other issues. I don't think it's as easy, to just say that, like, all you need to do is get out and vote as well, because we saw that, with the DNC elections... that shit wasn't
bullshit, man. Bullshit. Voting can
I'm
do
just saying
a lot
to
do this, and I will not sit here. and say that's not the most important thing we can all do right now.
I'm not saying that they shouldn't do
that.
it. I'm just saying that like it's still yet to be seen that that's going to completely change everything, because as we've seen recently, it hasn't though. And my whole point is not to tell people not to get out and vote. I say get out and vote and do what you can. But
I'm here as a staunch voice disagreeing with that, because I don't even want to discourage the idea of voting.
Yeah, and I'm not saying to discourage the idea of voting. People take what they can get out of whatever they hear. And my point is that, not to overwhelm people with minute things that, are seemingly going to actually encourage or strengthen the other side though. If you're going to play, it's not about being right, it's about being effective. And if you continue to just only go down the path that they have provided for you, rather than the longer, harder path, which is to probably try to make other, to not be limited by this bipartisanship. It goes deeper than that. And we're talking about some other shit here that's not necessarily political, but I think if more people were to fucking just kind of not stress out about the little things, it might be effective in a long way too.
Oh, I'm going to have to staunchly but respectfully disagree.
Yeah, well, that's good that some people could still do that in today's day and age, because that's definitely the biggest issue out there, is that people cannot do that.
Well, no, I think the biggest issue is that we're stealing children and then locking them in cages and drugging them and beating them.
That's a very big issue among many, many issues that are going on. There's many fucking issues that are going on.
But I digress.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so to get back to what we were talking about, that is very important, though. People do need to pay attention more, and don't try to act like shit doesn't fucking happen that's bad. But talking about the positive side of manifestation now, too. What do we? So you came out here, and what do you see yourself doing from here? Do you have a goal? Do you have something that you want to do from here, or is you just kind of like do you see yourself doing what you're doing right now for a long time?
Yeah, definitely long-term career for sure. But just trying to get out there and be super successful, travel the world and be happy and help other people. And then my long-term goal, which I told you, I think I told you, was just a goal that I kind of just have been kidding around with, but who knows, maybe it'll happen. I'm gonna have a talk show. It's gonna be called Amara.
Yes, this is why. Okay. Now this is coming back to me. Go on.
It's gonna be called Amara. It's gonna be a combination of Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah Winfrey.
Okay.
And we're gonna have me as the host, Amara, and different sectors on the show: health and fitness, philanthropy. There'll be some different doctors coming on, entertainment, all that kind of thing. And then I'm gonna hire all my friends for whatever they're good at. They can work for me and do whatever they're good at, or they can come on the show, and it's just a way to help promote people's businesses or help the world and change the world. And that's one of my visions in the future. We'll see if it happens. But for right now, I'm just, just trying to be successful and help other people and travel and be happy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Be successful by doing something positive and trying to change the world in a little way that you can.
Yeah.
This goes along kind of with everything else that I was talking about. It's you can't always fight the bad by trying to fight the bad, but you can by fucking creating a bunch of good shit too. That will in some way add to the puzzle of promoting awareness for the overall picture of what's going on and what needs to be changed and what needs to be fixed. By teaching really positive values to people through actually giving them an experience that makes them understand that. Because you could sit there all day and tell people love each other, love your neighbor, just get out there and accept people, but nobody's going to experience it unless they are actually accept that, unless they've had an experience the way each and every single one of us has, some sort of experience out around people where we're just that first time when you realize, well, this is what it's like to fucking just love people and things, you know, and just fucking not give a shit about all of this other bullshit. You know, it's like the Grinch, just watching over the fucking Who's at Christmas or whatever, and the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas cartoon, and then just having this change of heart and just boom, kind of changing. I mean, that's obviously a cartoon, but the shit kind of happens, fucking people have changes of hearts once they see some shit. Do I think that that's going to change everybody? I don't know, but it's what you can do,
I have a lot of friends that come up to me and they're like, I just manifested this. I'm like, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Doing it.
What did they tell you?
Jobs. They created a job or some stuff like that. A lot of opportunities. Just opportunities. Open up your mind.
Wonder how specific you can get when it comes to manifestation.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like it's
Like,
been
if I
pretty
do, like,
fucking specific for her.
One time on my birthday, I was just like, on my birthday, I was running to go to CrossFit. I was so drunk from the night before. And it was my birthday, got to celebrate.
Great time to go to
I have to
CrossFit.
celebrate by the month. I was running to get there and I was wearing a sweatshirt and I forgot to put a shirt underneath it. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, I can't go to the gym. And I stopped by my favorite juice store on the way. And he's like, hold on, he always gives me free shit. And because that's another thing I manifest. I love free shit. He just always gives me free shit. Love free shit. I manifest a lot of free shit.
Who doesn't love free shit?
Free fucking shit. So he comes out, he's like, oh, let me give you some stuff today. He randomly gives me like a t-shirt. And I'm like, how? He didn't even know. I'm like, I needed this t-shirt for my workout right now. I'm like, it was very specific too.
That's fucking awesome.
The fuck?
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke about something like that, but
Yeah.
God damn it, you really had a story lined
It's
up.
like God knew. Just
Dude,
God knew.
I mean, I can't even think of a really good example or something as specific as that,
Yeah.
but definitely little things that are very,
Yeah.
very much so like that, it just falls into place. It's like, holy shit, this is what I needed anyways. And you're thinking like, I'm just really stoned right now. And like this is just like some like Pineapple Express shit, things just like falling into place, like, or seemingly falling out of place, and then you just happen to pick it back up together and you're like, oh, this was manifestation, it was supposed to work out.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're just stoned, dude.
Yeah. Sometimes. But I don't know. They say there are no coincidences, so.
Yeah, I personally like to believe that.
Who wants to live in a world where there's like just everything's just coincidence?
Yeah.
Right.
There's some reason behind that.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
I know.
That sounds some bullshit right there.
Yeah.
Man. So where you headed after? Is New York like a quick stop off after this?
Yeah, so
or is it
I'm flying to New York Wednesday on a red eye, get in Thursday morning, and then Friday night I'm flying to Portugal with my boyfriend who lives in New York. And we are going to Portugal for 10 days, and then I'm back in New York, and then I'm going to Saratoga for a bachelorette party. And then I'm back here in LA on the 16th of July. And then I think I'll be here for a little.
You should be coming to the Kazulu Mountain Jam.
That's a
What's
good
this?
amount of travel right there.
The Kazulu Mountain Jam is only the most epic fucking gathering this side of Middle Earth and Hogwarts.
Of all of the mountain geographic kazoo jamborees,
This is number
I gotta
one
say that's in the
prime.
top 3.
Yeah.
for
What's
sure.
the date?
July 20th through the 22nd. But it's only going to be mainly like the 20th and the 21st. And then we leave the place in LA. And it's in LA. It's the Angeles Forest. But it's like my birthday gathering along with pretty much all July and August birthdays or whatever, just to kind of like condense it in there. But it's like a camping trip where we go and dress up like wizards and, run around and play kazoos and jam out. Like, imagine a drum circle, but with like way more people and way more instruments and just, rocking out in the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it?
In the Angeles Forest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where that is.
It's in the Angeles
Just-
Forest.
Just drive north for a little while.
I'll look into it.
You'll find it.
It's not too far. It's actually like it's pretty nice. It's like a nice mountainous area away from everything for sure. Like you do get that feeling like, okay, like, you go camping some places, you're like, oh, this isn't really like camping. Like I'm not too far away from anything. This is kind of like going somewhere like an orange.
That's
or
a
something.
pretty good length away. I found it in the dark.
Yeah. And yeah.
And by I found it, I mean she found it.
I mean, I'm not big on camping. The only times that I've camped was my first experience at Desert Hearts, which was life-changing and worth it.
Was it this year?
Last year, my friends took me. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't even know like a place like this existed on Earth, and it like blew my mind. And I came out of that festival feeling like mentally clear and refreshed, like all my dreams could come true.
Mentally clear and fresh with fresh with the backbeat of techno.
Yeah.
It's like constant like ringing in your ear.
Yeah. And then I went back to Desert Hearts this year, which was epic. And then I went to Lightning in a Bottle, like by accident, kind of. I literally got my ticket, like my friend picked me up like 10 minutes before she was
Like, were
going.
you just walking
That's
through
that
Bradley and it's like,
manifestation
what the
shit
hell's
right
on
there.
Basically, yeah. And then that was my like basically my third camping experience, but so totally worth it. I'm not big on the camping thing, but for that stuff, it's like
Yeah.
I've become more convinced over the last 43 minutes that you are in fact like a superhero or some kind of actual magician, because there's no way like any mortal can like manifest that much shit.
Have you seen
a lot of
Deadpool
shit.
2?
There's a lot of
I
shit.
have.
She's like, what's her name?
Domino.
Domino.
Yeah.
Except that's luck, which essentially
Yeah,
kind of is
it's kind of
you know,
manifesting
the
it.
same
I mean, no,
thing.
she did. She like, God, we need like somewhere to get out of here, and like just a bus just crashes to the wall.
God, she
you know?
was so hot.
Yeah, Zazie Beetz.
She's from Atlanta too.
Yeah. Yeah, she's the shit, man.
I just always think of the thing where she pops. I'm okay, thank you. Where she pops the fucking piss up in her face in Atlanta.
Which
Remember, she's like doing the drug test thing, and she's like peeing into the fucking.
oh
She has the balloon,
yeah.
the balloon full of piss, and and then the lady tells her like, "By the way, your hair smells like piss."
Oh, good times. No, she's great, man. I love that movie.
I was gonna say you could hit this too, but
Yeah, thanks.
you still could. Anyway,
Anyway, so I like made this like when I like all this stuff was happening, I just like made a list on my wall because I really want to make a vision board. That's what I really want to do. But I just made like a list on my wall, like travel around the world, like yachts, private planes, health, happiness, fitness, and like I'm like literally I've been like traveling so much. I went on a yacht trip last summer, and like shit's just been happening. And then like I just made this other list, and all the stuff came true. So I got to make a whole new list.
see, I'm gonna start doing that because
I
I always.
have to like a vision board is just gonna like show up one day. It's gonna be like an
Yeah.
Amazon package that came, but like it went to the wrong door. I'm just like, oh sweet, a vision board.
Yeah.
Make your own though.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that too. These are all things that like I want to do, but I just kind of get I make excuses and I
Yeah.
get lazy. Like I want to do that the morning meditation board when I go and just kind of like reflect and give gratitude and like just have it set up to where I don't know. This is something like a lot of people I've read do where they have like pictures of their friends and stuff that they love and things that they're grateful for. Just like that.
Yeah.
That right there in the morning already, because I've noticed that to be one of the best things for like getting rid of any negative baggage. Just like realizing what you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Like waking up in the morning,
It's
like
huge.
instead of looking at your phone, just be like, think, what am I like happy? Like
Yeah.
why am I happy?
Yeah. No, it's true. Goes a long way.
And it brings more.
Yeah.
And abundance. And my friend was telling me the other day, he does what you do. He like goes throughout the day saying abundance and what does he say? Abundance and energy, just over and over and over again. And he gets it. And like I've never been that sort of ritualistic where like I just say a word, because
Yeah.
for me it was always like you got to have like way more intent to it, like for each and everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like if you start saying stuff like that, to me it was always reminding me of like going to church and like just repeating like prayers by like but then now I'm thinking like, well, fuck, what that might just work for some people, if they just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. I used to think like, how could they don't even know what they're saying. They're just fucking saying it over and over again, like they're just like
I just never liked the concept of somebody telling me what my thing had to be.
Yeah.
you know?
I still don't fucking really.
You can make your own.
Yeah,
Exactly.
totally. I don't fuck with that. Like I still like think nobody else has the power to tell me what to do, but like the people that go on their own and they do the rosaries by themselves, like and they just repeat it over and over again. I used to think, well, they're not really like saying anything with intent. They're just kind of repeating a bunch of words, but all the while as they're saying that, they are thinking about what they want. So it's like,
Yeah.
I'm sure they can infuse their own thing into it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who get it wrong too.
is there a right way? That's what I mean.
Well, I mean, like if you're doing it because you feel like you have to, and you don't believe in it, and you're not feeling like it's gonna work. I feel like that's a way to kind of do it wrong, because it's like, who are you helping? You're just wanting to look like you're doing that versus actually like trying to put that energy and take that in. And whatever that may be, it could be a rosary for some people. It could be, a limited edition Batman figurine for others. Like whatever you pray on,
or
I feel
people
like
who meditate too.
Like,
it could, everything has that. Like people go and they just sit down and they meditate. And it's like, oh, you haven't been there. You don't understand it. You haven't reached this level of like meditation. And it's like, what? Like,
I love the people that brag about not having an ego.
Yes, that's pretty
amazing.
funny. There's this really funny guy on Instagram that like trolls the fuck out of people like that because he just like is exposing so many people that go and just try to argue with them like about that, because he'll go and kind of like back up Kanye or whatever. He's this huge psychedelic like podcast that people like respected, and then he just like flipped it over and kind of is like trolling people by doing, by kind of like agreeing with Kanye on just about everything, and people are saying like this guy's got such a big ego, and then he's just pointing out like you realize like the more you are sitting there trying to point your finger at me and tell me how big my ego is. Like
Yeah.
you're only
Right.
showing how big your fucking ego
Yeah.
is. When people like think that they've gotten to a point because they've had an ego death and they like think that they no longer have an ego and they can go around telling people like, oh, you don't understand, you still have an ego. Like, what the fuck? Like they
Right.
clearly didn't get the message, or it
Right.
didn't stick, with them. It just didn't understand. Like as far as I'm concerned, I'll never fucking slay that dragon. Like it's gonna be there every day.
But I'm
to
not
battle.
sure I understand. So this guy's going around acting like an asshole when people are telling him, "Hey, you're being an asshole." Then he's like, "Yeah, gotcha. See." Like, is that the point?
So you just have to like look at it for yourself. He's kind of
Okay.
nobody knows what this guy looks like or anything like that. So he's definitely just like fucking with people.
Okay,
In that way.
I actually like that now.
It's very similar to like a Satanist movement thing. Like you're just fucking with people. Like you're not literally trying to say this or that, but it's just to get people to keep questioning or to keep fucking
Okay.
just to keep the
to
joke
get people
going.
to keep fucking. I
To
like
keep
that.
fucking- yeah.
I stopped listening after that.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's really exciting that your life has, come around with all of these fucking manifestations. Like
It
everything's
is.
just falling into place
It
for
is. Life is good. Life is good.
you. And like, so tell us one of your stories that you have all these crazy stories you said. And like, what's one that stands out to you? Like in something that,
I told you a couple good ones.
Yeah, no, you have dropped some
I told you some.
crazy ones so far.
Yeah.
I'm already convinced you're a witch, and so
You never know.
yeah.
Just kidding.
so where else do you want to travel then?
Well,
Other than Portugal where you're going tomorrow.
well, I mean, literally, if I told you like all the places that I've been since like January, you'd be like, holy shit. Like,
I'll be
I
very
was-
upset.
Go.
so December, like January, I was like in Paris, England, Austria, Switzerland, and Italy for a month. That was a month-long trip. And then I came back, and then I was in New York. Then I was back in LA. And then where else did I go? I went to so many places. Like, I don't know, I've been in like Vegas, Miami, Cabo, like Santa Barbara, like, I don't know, so many, I don't know, just like nonstop,
like
like
Havasu this
every
weekend.
weekend's like it's something. And it's just like not really on purpose. It's just like life is just like having all these events. Like I can't even remember where I've been.
I'm
when it's-
exhausted just listening
Yeah.
to that.
when it's giving them to you.
It's been nonstop, yeah, but it's been great. I mean, it's funny because it's like LA is such a good place. Like you don't really need to go anywhere. You kind of like have everything here. And now that I
world's
live
here.
here, I'm like not into it.
No, I said the world's here.
Oh yeah,
Like yeah,
Yeah.
No, I've been saying that for a long time.
So like I'm like, oh, I just want to like be here.
Do you see yourself staying?
Yeah,
here?
I'm never leaving.
You're not going back to New York.
Never.
So you're one of the ones that like will say that this is for you.
Yeah,
over
yeah,
New
yeah.
York. Okay.
This feels like home to me.
Okay.
Like people are like LA doesn't feel home. Like blah blah blah. I'm like this. I feel like I belong here.
And
I
it
feel like
feels
I'm home.
probably like, because for a lot of people, even myself, it might seem at times like way too much of a concrete jungle for me. And for you, you're like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, right. This is like nothing, right? I'm sure because I like get anxiety. Like I've never been to New York. I've been
Oh,
to
Manhattan
Europe.
is the concrete jungle.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can imagine, and people are like, "Oh, you'll like it when you go there." And I think, like, I obviously will give it a chance, and I have to go see it for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go and check it out. But I can just say that, like, I'm not very good with like places where I feel like I can't get out of.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
where I just feel like I'm trapped.
That's
into
New
this-
York.
Yeah, and I don't know. I got scolded by a lady on a train when I was in Spain. I was riding with her. She's from New York, and I was telling her of my travel so far because I did a month in Europe. And she was like, "You like she the street performers in New York are like so great." I'm like, "Oh, I haven't been yet." She's like, "You've never been to New York?" She was like, so just like she couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
She's like, "You've been to all these fucking places."
Yeah.
You've never been
No,
to New
it's
York.
true.
What the hell? It's like, well, shit, I'm broke. Like now that I'm like, I have friends that live all up and down the coast of the East Coast, so I
Yeah.
can like now plan a trip and go
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah,
stay
yeah,
with
yeah.
them. Otherwise, like before, it's like, well,
Right.
I would have been broke.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I am broke. But
I mean, now that I've left New York, because after I left New York, you couldn't even talk to me about New York. I would like shit on it. I'd be like, "Fuck that place, like, hate that place." But
really,
yeah. I was like, you could, and this girl, and then this girl, I'm like telling her how much I hate it, and she's like, "Oh, I'm moving there." I'm like, "Oops. Well, you really should have listened to me. New York is a great place."
so why do you hate it though?
Because it's crowded, it's smelly, it's loud, it's expensive. It's just like a concrete jungle where the weather's either too hot or too cold. And then when it's finally nice out and you want to go on a rooftop, it's too crowded. and everything's a process, and everything's expensive, and you have to take at least a minimum $10 cab everywhere, and it's just like craziness. It's like a jungle. But like now that I don't live there, now I can come back and appreciate it and know that it's just I'm just there for a little bit, and then I go back to my home base here. But it has a good, fun party night life and party life and good food.
Yeah. Well, you have the wandering spirit, it seems like. You
Yeah.
know, some people, anywhere you go, they're just like, they don't. I mean, there's friends that I've had here that from Huntington Beach that have like literally never gone outside of Orange County.
Yeah.
They're just like, why? Like,
Yeah.
they don't care. You know, like maybe to LA a couple times for events here and there, but they're just like, nope. You know, they just don't get out of here. They're just, it doesn't mean anything to them. And even for myself, you know, we forget like where we come from and where like privilege we have. Like yesterday I was out driving down Laguna, down PCH with Jimmy, and you know, we're just like, you can't, you know, no matter what, if you're driving through this part, you know, as the sun's even remotely close to going down, you can't really not feel that you just fucking holy shit, I'm
hitting
blessed.
that big bend,
Yeah.
like going to
It's
Laguna.
really-
You can't just look at that and not be just struck by
Just like I live here. Like
the
this
awe
is,
of it.
yeah, like
You live on a
oh my
vacation.
god,
I've
this
seen
is
it so
where-
many times, but I still am just like wowed
Literally.
every time you see that.
Can
you
make
know?
a grown man cry.
I'm like talking. My friends are like, "Oh my god, when are you moving back? When are you moving back?" I'm like, "Never." Number one. Number two. What does it matter to you? Because you don't see me all the time anyway. You don't even hang out with me. Like, you know, like some of your friends in Manhattan, they'll see each other like once a weekend or once every 2 weekends, and it's like, why do you care if I live here or not? They probably see me more now because I'm in New York like twice a month. But
But do you feel in a way that you may have outgrown them or like life?
yeah, for sure. My friends that I went to college with,
Yeah. Because I trip on that all the time.
Yeah.
Like I have friends that like are getting married and having kids, and you know, you feel that you need to do all of these obligatory things, but you're just like, I really haven't like kicked it with them in so long. And it's not that I don't love them or like don't care about them. They weren't a very big part of my life at one point, but like I just don't. You know what I mean? Like,
No, I know exactly
not
what you mean.
on the same.
Life gets in the way sometimes. Man.
Yeah, you're just like fuck.
also
you know?
like just different paths. Like my friends are like maybe more like obsessing over like people getting married and like wedding rings and like I don't know. And I'm just trying to like go out and have a fun time with my friends and like explore like new things.
You have like the dream life though too for, you know, I would feel like a millennial because it's like you have somebody but they're like far away too, so you can like, you know what I mean, like you still have that when you need it.
Yeah,
And
like
you have that support.
Yeah,
and you've got that, but like you're not bogged down or like they're not in the way of your like you on your path to doing what you have to do as well.
yeah.
Like, you know, you don't have to deal with that. Like over here when I was younger, that was like part of relationships. It's like every day in and out. You're just like, okay, I'm difficult. I can't even deal with my fucking self.
I know, right?
How do I expect anybody else to fucking deal with me?
right?
You know?
Yeah.
And for me to do what they want, I'm selfish. Like I don't want to do what other people want to do.
I know.
So it's like, it works out.
I know. I mean, yeah, well, we're like together like 20 out of 30 days. We like are together a lot, but he's probably like another thing that I manifest.
because he comes here?
Yeah, we both travel like a lot.
God, you fucking her life, man.
It's good. I have no complaints. But it was like we've been dating for 1 year on July 4th, but before that I was dating a guy for 6 years, and 5 of those years were long distance, which was like after that I was like, I'm never doing a long distance relationship again.
That's crazy.
And then after we broke up, I was like so comfortable. I was like, I'm so excited to like be me again and like not worry about anything. And then like this relationship came along, and it was like, damn, but like you're so worth it. But like I don't like, we're like a team, so it's like completely like complements each other. But
yeah,
I
like
totally
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it just seems like there's just a lot more work than that.
Yeah.
That's
But
good
it works.
though.
It works. It's good. Yeah.
Well, good.
And another thing about living here in LA, it's like I meet new people every day. I have like friends that I would probably have never been friends with, like otherwise, if I just like stuck in my bubble in New York. Everyone's hanging around with the same people every day. I literally am meeting new people every day who are my seriously close friends. Like I went to Lightning in a Bottle and didn't mean to go there, and all the people that I met there are now my very good friends. And that's how I met you, because I was at his party and like
No.
and just like things like that.
Isn't it funny how that works out? How you can just like kind of just find somebody, or there's something freeing about, I think, going somewhere else completely where you're kind of forced to make new friends. And then when you just step out of what was a comfort zone, you're just like, oh shit, like you just, well, I guess you manifest all the friends too.
Yeah.
But there are certain people and energies that when you meet them as well, you know, okay, this is of substance. This
Yeah.
is something
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, like this, even if it's only for a very brief amount of time, it's
Yeah.
like a real exchange
Yeah,
of,
yeah, yeah.
of energy. You know, you guys are like utilizing that and like kind of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's great.
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Now,
very special.
is there anything as we are wrapping up here that you want to, you know, give to anybody as advice, you know, people that might be younger back at home or here that want to move somewhere else, you know, like anything that you've taken away from this conversation that you would want to share?
I think that it's important for people to not let fear or worry get in the way. And if you want to do something, you can do it. And you should really, you know, open up your mind and not really put like a net above your head as to what your capabilities are. I mean, there was like an experiment that I'll always remember. Like there was like an experiment with these flies, and they had the flies. They put a net over it, and then the flies would only fly up to the net because that's all they could go. And then when they took the net away, the flies would only go as far as what they knew to that net. So I think that's why a lot of people are restricted by their beliefs because they're judging from past experiences or what people are telling them, and it's really not necessarily true. You can create a whole new option for yourself. So there's a whole huge universe out there.
Yes.
And we're like all magical beings. So like why not just like reach for the freaking stars?
Yeah, live up to your potential.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself. And
You're capable.
that's fucking a message I need to hear.
Yeah.
And just like,
Can I just say you slayed that fucking answer?
yeah.
Because I've heard of that before, but it's been so long, and I was like, oh shit, that's so relevant to everything we always talk about.
Is,
Yeah.
right?
It's very you
Well
killed
done.
it.
Yeah.
You keep
Thanks, guys.
You're definitely learning from your experiences,
trying.
and you are that
And now
is-
we are too.
Yeah,
There you go. You
absolutely.
guys are in. You guys are in.
That is what spirituality is. It's about living on your path and learning every step of the way from as much as you can. Taking
Yes.
everything as a lesson, everything as a sign, so long as you choose for it to be, and you can manifest the shit. And I'm so stoked that we have somebody that can come on and continue to spread that message to all of the people, because that's what we're about, you know, talking about that. It's what we like to do. We like to promote as many people out there doing dope shit, breaking away from those norms or those, you know, mind shackles that, you know, restrict a lot of us from living up to our fullest potential. Because prior to really, you know, getting involved in all this stuff and even meeting each other, every single one of our friends that is now doing something, they've always had these talents hidden within them, but they didn't really, you know, get it out there until they realized the potential for it. So yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
And keep pushing that out there. Is
Yes.
there any way that people can follow your travels, your experiences on social media?
Yeah. It's just my name, you know, Amara, Amara, because it's the Amara Show.
Oh, there you go.
Amara Brenner, Brenner. That's my name.
And
Don't
you
wear
heard
it
her
out.
here first, everybody. When you meet
Yeah.
her,
Yeah, so
You guys will be on the show.
keep an eye
Yeah.
out
Be on the
for
show.
Amara, the talk show. It's going to be an afternoon show.
I haven't decided
Like
that
a
yet. I'm really
Ellen
not a
Apple
morning
thing?
person, but you know, things might change.
Yeah, fuck that. Do late night. We need more representation
We'll
in
have
late
to
night.
see when we'll get the best viewing.
Right. There you go. Well, and then so what else have we got going on this week? We've got
Well, if you guys are listening to this on the day it comes out, as you should, I don't know what the hell y'all are waiting for. It's the Big Bang tonight.
Yeah.
So get out there and get banging at Union. Check us out on Facebook. I think we'll probably have posted something already on the social media. Oh, there we go. Just popped the hell out of that P. But other than that, I think we're good. You got anything?
Yeah, come to the Big Bang. Check out all the artists that we have there, as well as the DJs, house versus bass. Follow Psychedelic Lions Den. That's psychedelic_lions_den. And you can always find me on my personal account at Hoodrat Stuff with 3 Fs. So yeah.
And of course, you guys are listening to the show. You loved it. This was beautiful shit. And so if you're not subscribed to it, frankly, you should feel deep personal internal shame that will probably take years of therapy to undo. But the first step towards that therapy is to actually just go ahead and just subscribe to the show already. Go ahead, give us some likes, kind of rate us on iTunes and all that shit. However it goes. And then go ahead and tell 2 friends and say a prayer, and that is your penance.
The number one way to manifest your dreams is to subscribe to Let It Bleed Podcast.
That is true. That is true. And for all your dreams to come true, all you need to do is also follow us on social media. That is Let It Bleed Cast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And hey, while you're at it, you want to hear me screaming about all the horror that's going on a day-to-day basis, you can follow me on Twitter at Phil Nobody Cares or on Instagram at Nobody Cares
Don't
Phil.
watch the news. Just go to Phil's thing, and he'll give you the honest recap because all those other people are fucking.
Oh, I'm kind of down for that.
Yeah, you can try. I do like to break it down into bite-sized chunks. I welcome anybody to check my work, and I will tell you exactly how fucked we all are all the time. It's literally my favorite subject.
You need to hear it. So, anyways, thank you all for fucking tuning into this. We hope that you enjoy this podcast, and as always, let it bleed.
And we out.
I have to go to the